What have you accidentally conditioned your pet to do? Bring me dirty laundry. One day my cat brought me a sock and it was so cute, so I petted him and praised him. That started a cycle of it, and now he's constantly bringing dirty laundry to me. When I was 10 my parents got a cat, PJ, who became very attached to me and my younger sister. When we went away for summer camp, PJ would run upstairs to our bedrooms and steal our socks, which she would then bring downstairs and leave at my parents' feet. She only did this while we were gone for extended periods of time, so, like, not during the school day or overnight visits with grandparents, only when we were gone for more than a few nights. Upon hearing the Windows 7 Sonata log-off sound, she jumps up and starts running around the room, since I always lock my computer before leaving. And when I'm leaving, that usually means she's going to daycare, i.e. my mom's house. It's been 3 or so years since I switched to Windows 10, but just playing the sound on YouTube still gets a reaction out of her. I'm quite certain you can configure Windows 10 with the same log-off sound if you'd like. Yes, that's possible. The Windows 7 boot up sound is already in Windows 10, just disabled. The budgie had a broken leg in a little splint. He would climb to the roof of his cage with just his beak and good leg, then let go of his beak and hang by one leg, then just stare at me. He knew I would stick my hand in, and he could just fall off into my hand. He only did this when I was around, because I was the only one who would stick my hand in. I can imagine him doing it with someone else, keeping eye contact, only for them to watch this bird hanging, and then dropping himself to the floor. My ex had a parakeet with the most personality I have ever met in a bird. The bird used to mimic the sound, that beep boop sound that an Android makes when you plug it in the charger, and knew that meant it was time for bed. So, whenever the bird was tired, it would make that noise, because that meant it was time to sleep. It mimicked it so perfectly that I found myself checking my phone whenever it was nap time for the birdie. I miss you, pistachio. Discharging beep, better charge the parrot. Changing the sheets on the bed means playtime. My cat likes to sit on the bed as I throw on the sheets, likes that Rainbow Parachute elementary game. She tries to attack my hand if I straighten the edges while she's there too. Every night without fail. It's a challenge, because one goes under for the parachute, the other goes on top to attack the folds of the blanket. Do you change your sheets daily? No, just making the bed. I'm a heathen who makes the bed right before bedtime, because my 2 little lovable mischief makers like to track some litter in their toes, so it's a nightly routine of brush the bed off. Also, first thing in the morning all I think of is coffee. The routine has turned into a nightly game of hide and seek and attack the sheet. Some days I just want to go to bed without shenanigans, but honestly wouldn't trade it for any other bedtime routine ever. My wife and I have pretty set sleep schedules during the week. If we stay up later on the weekend or w/e, our dog gets very huffy/offended and will sigh aggressively at us until we go upstairs to bed. Oh, and if one of his bowls is empty he licks it, also aggressively, and then makes direct eye contact. Oh god, yes, that aggressive sigh. Our dog used to sleep in front of the bedroom door, in the corridor between bedroom and toilet, and when you had to go at night, duck off followed on his part by exaggerated getting up. This deeply annoyed Cyan. I swear. An eye roll. My dogs know the sound of the drawer the cheese is kept in the fridge. They could be asleep in a completely different area, but if you open the cheese drawer they come running and sit like good boys for their cheese. They are herding dogs, and will also herd the cat away if she won't stop meowing at me when I'm busy, or if she tries to scratch anything. I had to check to see if you were my housemate. All 4 of the dogs we have are very different, but the one thing they all have in common is being summoned by the cheese drawer. My dog knew he would always get some ice to chew when I went to the fridge, so anytime he heard the ice machine on the fridge start he would come running in. Once he became deaf he would feel the vibrations in the floor from it and knew it was ice time. My dogs know the sound of ice too. We don't even use ice. It had been 100% from visitors. After my roommate got a cat, my dog answers to kitty 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 cause he wants love and or treats. My dog is like that too. She is willing to go by any names. You call mom's name, she comes running. You call dad's name, she still comes running. She is just such softy and cuddle needy that if she hears you yell for somebody, she is willing to be that somebody. We have one dog who is totally a jealous attention whore. She can be more reliably summoned using the other dog's name than hers. You're about to cheat on me, aren't you? My kitten will aggressively headbutt my face every night before bed. 4 top of head kisses before she goes to sleep. My old cat learned by watching my and I to give 4 head kisses and hold hands as a sign of affection. So now he will give you his forehead and give him a kiss, and then you have to let him kiss your forehead. And at night he will hold your hand and sleep next to you through the night. My cat also knows that 4 head kisses equals affection. When my husband pops into my home office to chat, he always kisses me on the forehead before he leaves. If our ginger cat is there, he'll look up at my husband and squeak pathetically until he gets a kiss. 2. Fear rubber gloves. We live in a place with lots of fleas and ticks, so we goo them every month. I figure the stuff goes through cat skin readily, so it'll probably go through mine. So I use surgical gloves. Whenever I pull out the box, the smarter of our 2 immediately bolts for the deepest recesses of the house. The dumber one just looks at me, even though he finds the process distasteful too. My niece loves to FaceTime my mom to talk to her dog. When the dog was a puppy, my mom used to pull her onto her lap when she would get FaceTimed. Now the dog is 80 pounds and will jump in your lap if your phone or tablet starts making the default FaceTime ring. I had a wiener dog in the days before the internet, late 80s/early 90s. The local news came on every night at 10 o'clock. Our dog heard the news jingle 5 times a week at 10 and knew to come wrangle us all into bed. She made sure every single one of us were tucked in. My parents had another wiener dog later on, and there was a time where my kids and I had to go stay with my folks. My kids and I had a morning routine of getting ready for schoolwork. The dog picked up on this really quickly and started to beat my morning alarm to get the kids up. I often woke up to her barking at the kids to wake up. When I entered their room, I would see this tiny dog trying to drag the kids out of bed, and it always makes me think of how the first dog we had was anal about putting us to bed. Dachshunds are very motherly dogs, I've come to learn. It's 10 p.m. Do you know where your humans are? I take baths with my cat by letting her float in a plastic box. I keep the box in my closet. I only started doing this about a month ago, but now when I turn the bath water on, she runs to the closet and jumps in her box. Please pay your bath cat tax. Check her post history. Lots of cute bath cat tax payments. Edit said is not her post history. So there is. D. My cat drinks out of a gullet on my nightstand rather than a bowl. A couple of years ago, she was having some pretty serious dental issues, all fixed now, and was being reluctant to eat and drink. She had always wanted to drink out of the water cup I had for myself, and at that point I just wanted her to drink anything. So I let her. That was my mistake, and now she refuses to drink out of a bowl on the ground and will only drink out of cups. She has a permanent cup on my nightstand to this day. Oh well. At least it's easier for me to monitor her water intake. Editing this to reply to some repeat comments I'm seeing below. I was aware that cats like to drink away from their food, and at the time she had 2 different bowls that were not next to get food. I've tried every material: stainless steel, but ceramic, plastic, for bowls. She doesn't care. I wasn't aware that cats like being high up when they drink. That might help explain it. I see a lot of comments to get a cat fountain. At this point, since the gullet on the nightstand doesn't bug me, I'm probably not going to buy one. Mainly because of how many different drinking options she's rejected in the past, haha. But if I ever want her to stop, that'll be my first try. Why are cats like this? Well, I did hear that cats in nature don't drink near their killers. That water could be contaminated by the corpse, so that might have something to do with it. One of my cats, Snart, demands that we give him his food and water in his own bowl and his own cup. Not just that, but we experimented with it and found that the little bastard pays attention. If it's something we don't eat out of, like a Tupperware container, He'll meow until he gets the same kind of bowl we do eat out of. If we give him a little bowl of water, he knows we don't drink water out of bowls but out of cups. We changed his bowl to the 4 other style of bowl we have, and each time he meowed louder and louder until we gave him the widest flattest cup we owned. He drank out of it and spent his evening fighting off the other cats trying to drink from it. Oh, and he will do his best to lay down on human clothes. Bedding we bought specifically for cats? No. A nice puffy blanket fresh out the dryer specifically for him? Course not. Am I nuts? A t-shirt I left on the ground accidentally, a pair of old socks that are just long and wide enough for him to lay down on, a super wet and cold jacket because it was raining hard out. You bet but he'll be on it by the end of the minute it hits the floor. I think he knows we live better than cats normally do, and he wants in on the club. Snart. Get wet food at 4 AM every day. I wake up early during the week and feed him wet food right away. Of course he doesn't care that it's the weekend. His internal alarm clock is down to minute with precision. And because he's a cat and an hole, if we don't get up and get his food, he howls loudly through the house, opens shutters, walks on our faces, nudges our noses with his nose. He's so relentless it's not even funny, but we love him. You're his butler after all. He pays you. You must obey. Somewhere along the way, my dog learned get your toy means to pick up his nearest toy. I didn't purposely train him to do it, but it's good for when he's about to leave one of them outside and I want him to bring it in. If there's no toy around and I say this, he'll grab the nearest soft thing, usually some piece of clothing laying around. One time he tried to pick up the cat. How did the cat feel about that? She's pretty laid back. He realized she was a bit too heavy and put her back down, and they never spoke of it again. It'll definitely come up in conversation again when the cat wants something. You're gonna give me some of that tuna you're making, right? No? You remember when the dog tried to pick me up? The cat probably. Underscore 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 1. My one dog sleeps under a blanket. I know he pretty much only gets a decent sleep that way. So every time he's laying down I cover him with one. So whenever he wants to have a nap, or it's time to go to sleep at night, he jumps up onto the couch, or bed, or really wherever I am, and just sits there staring at me, until I grab a blanket and drape it over top of him, to which he then lays down and falls asleep. The funny part is that he'll often sit there in that position waiting for minutes on end. Sometimes he's not even facing me when he does it, which is the funniest. He'll get up on the bed, put his butt in my face, sit, and just wait. He knows he doesn't even feign loving me to get what he wants. He just knows it's going to happen, so why put up a facade? He's become very entitled about it. Underscore 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 2. Whenever I bring my dogs in from a walk or from the backyard, I give them a treat, which I keep in the kitchen. So whenever we come in, they run to the kitchen and get in the sitting position. Sit is always the first command in a string of commands that I use when giving them treats. If I forget, they'll sit there for however long it takes for me to circle back around and give them a treat. Sometimes this takes 5 to 10 minutes if I'm distracted, but they'll just sit there waiting. They have trained me well. Underscore 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 underscore. My sister and brother-in-law's dog would only ever go to sleep if he was under his specific blanket and with a pillow on his bed. He sometimes would bring his blanket to us and let us know he was ready for bed. He butted away a few months ago though. Why do pets have to die? Because otherwise they would all have to live without us, and they just can't. My aunt was friends with an elderly woman who had a small mutt and a Great Pyrenees. The mutt had been with her since it was born and would never leave her side. When the woman butted, although the dog was in very good health, the dog died the next day. She literally couldn't live without her. It still makes me tear up thinking about it. My aunt took in the Pyrenees, as she was a rescue and was very afraid of people, but loved my aunt, and to my joy, me, aside from my aunt and uncle, I was the only person Bella, the Pyrenees, would jump up to see. And she would insist on sleeping on top of me when I stayed over. She butted away 2 years ago though. Opening the fridge and touching a plastic bag means they get a carrot. My mom gives my dogs carrots because they steal it from our rabbit. Close bracket. Had to have the tricky little thieves. Dogs are the kings and queens of stealing food. Good thing they're cute. Also, A+ for carrot consumption. Not sure how it happened, but my dog will run to nearest window, stand on his hind legs, and look outside frantically if I ask him who's here. This behavior also occurs when there is a knocking sound, whether it's on the TV or at the door I roll. If no one is there he will whine. If it is someone he knows he will get excited. If it's a stranger he will growl. Best guard dog buddy. I have these outdoor cameras around my home and the sync to my phone. When there's an alert, it used to make the generic iPhone text tone. I turned the sound off not too long after I got them, but my dog knows that sound means there's probably a delivery guy in the driveway and it drives him nuts. My phone is always on silent now, but even that same tone on the TV sends him up the wall, and he won't calm down until I open the door and prove there's no one coming to murder us. Mine acts like his entire family was murdered by vacuums or rups drivers in a former life. I conditioned my cats to use the scratching post with treats and pets and lots of good boy for the last 7 years. Whenever I have to tell my one cat to stop chewing on something or anything like that, he goes to that post and scratches furiously looking at me like, but I'm a good boy. My cat just licks his post like a weirdo and scratches the couch. My cat licks a particular duvet cover I have. When that one goes in the wash he literally sits and cries. My mum, who doesn't even live with us, felt so bad for him, she bought me another one exactly the same, so he gets to enjoy it on the bed more often. My cat loves to be bounced in the duvet cover or the sheet when I change the bed, and also to pay under the fresh sheet as I'm trying to put it onto the mattress. Every time he hears the covers being pulled off he comes running, which isn't great if I'm doing it on my own, because it takes 2 people to properly bounce him. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you want more videos don't forget to like and subscribe. You are helping me a lot. Thanks again.